Yo guys, we have a tinfoil Wednesday, hey, but I ain't got no tinfoil for you.
And to all the mud flooders out there, please stop. Mud flood is the most preposterous, insane, demented, idiotic, imbecilic, pointless, wait, let me get my thesaurus, nonsensical, moronic, implausible, ludicrous, ridiculous, non-compass mentis, and utterly hysterical conspiracy theory yet devised. So unless these mud flooders can prove that there was a global mud catastrophe, prove where the mud came from, and even more importantly, how was such a global catastrophic event erased from the history books and from the archives and from journals and newspapers, how could such an event in the last 150, 200 years be completely erased from
history? It can't. Mud flood is an idiotic conspiracy theory like all of them.
Or maybe some, gang member, or wannabe gang member, like wannabe gangster person. The Creaky Blinder, he looks to be pretty professional. He has all these Photoshop skills and he has all those stuff and episodes here, like all these fancy graphics that he prepared exactly to put this in place, So he's like a professional.
I am a professional. And please say my name again.
The Creaky Blinder.
This is Philip. Philip made a video about me. And it would just be rude not to return the favor. So, let's do it. I know what you're thinking. Creaky has got an evil twin. I couldn't believe it myself. But when I stumbled across this channel, I was quite touched, actually. It's a pretty good video and it advertises my channel well, so I'd like to thank Philip for that. Now his name is Philip. I think the surname is pronounced.
Look here, buddy. I like your response or reply as you code it. Very funny.
Because from what I can see, he's just judged me without actually knowing anything about me. And don't worry, I do know the irony of me calling him judgmental, because that's what it does, is makes me judgmental. But how could I possibly not reply to this video?
Hey guys. Hey everybody. All the haters, all the subscribers of mine, and just the people passing by. I got this message for you. Don't shut this video down before it ends. I know you probably got used to more decent quality videos which are narrated or made as a voiceover, but I'm not like this. I never get prepared and I speak from my heart, trying to stick to be honest and prefer to be a gentleman. Yes, sometimes I get pissed off and I can even swear. All those fucking haters don't understand one thing. When you have a war, you are not supposed to stick your head from the trench, right? You're supposed to sit quiet and shoot. But no, those motherfuckers sticking their heads out, trying to be funny, be clowns. But the main reason I do it is to show you people how ridiculous it is. Ridiculing others is not a big deal. We're doing it in Russia. I have a bunch of channels under my management. As I've told you before, I'm the head of a video production unit, but I don't want to, spend any time of my crew on recording my personal blog, which is Philipp Druzhinin. So probably, if you are a subscriber of mine since the day one that this channel was started in August 2016, the channel was, of course, and the account was, of course, registered a lot longer before that, but whatever. I've started this channel when I heard about different things that people misunderstand. First thing is that you guys that support the official paradigm might be wrong. Might be wrong. I'm not saying you're 100% wrong, or like I can give my life for proving each and every one of you is wrong. It's your own thoughts, it's your own opinion, and you have a freedom to express your opinion. So do I. Not that long ago, a bunch of channels started to debunk the mud flood, ridicule the people who are talking about it.
Brace yourselves, people. Hello all and welcome to another episode of Tinfoil Tuesday with me, Simon Dan. Thank you ever so much for joining me. Yes, of course, we're talking about the mud flood conspiracy today.
The people who are talking about the Great Tartaria, people who are talking about alternative interpretations of the history, because all the history is pure interpretation. History is written by victors, and the victors right now are ruling the world. Those offsprings of those so-called victors, and many more people that join them along that way. We had a bunch of wars, we had a bunch of different stuff. And people, I'm not, buying all this. I'm just sticking to the official paradigm so you can understand me more clearly. So what I'm trying to say is, all you guys that support the officials, I want you to think about it and maybe change your mind after this video. I've been attacked a couple of times by those who think that they are truthers. I've been attacked a bunch of times by people who thinks that they are experts in some so-called official paradigm. And what can I say? The only thing that is common to both of those cases is the hatred that is supported by those who started all these attacks. You may call it cyberbullying, you may call it spreading hatred, or you may call it whatever you want. By the way, why most of you guys that put the hatred comments on my channels and the others think that we are butthurt by what he's trying to tell us the official narrative or so-called truth. Let's just not totally confirm it, because none of you know what is actually the truth. Man, let's just assume that we don't know it either, right? But I bet none of you can give your life for this so-called truth, although you may be willing to kill for it, or even punish a person like they did in so-called medievals when they burned the books and the people who were like spreading heresy and were alternative and opposing the official religious or civil paradigm. I'm trying to find all those connections between the languages, the myths or mythologies, fairy tales. I'm also looking at some sources. I'm also looking at the photo pictures from the past, comparing it to the modern place. And what I found, and you can also find it on my channel, that none of this official stuff fits into what we see in those sources, what we can read and what we can touch right now and observe in modern days, right? And I've been talking about it since the day one, right? I've never changed my mind a bit, except maybe corrected something, or got the information to be more specific at some certain points, because people ask me questions in the comments and people want to know what exactly I was trying to say. So what this all for? What's the purpose of this speech, you gotta say? You're supposed to be, bullying Creaky or Creepy or Freaky Blinder.
He means me.
Maybe I was, a little bit rough in that video that I made before when I was on the basketball court. I'll be rolling you over, or even if you want to be a bowler, I'll be, smashing your ass like a bowler, just like fucking this. You get it? Maybe I was not exactly correct to say something, but this is what not my point is. My point is that we all are losers.
Le who? The her.
Just like Creaky Blinder, just like Simon Dan, or anybody else on YouTube is a loser in his real life. Even if he makes enough money to buy himself new cameras, making his video look professional, because he's watching the videos of so-called YouTube masters like Nick Nimnin and others. By the way, you can, if you want to do YouTube, you should check Nick Nimnin. He is a good one. But whatever. YouTube authors have been called one simple word: creators. So what YouTube wants us to do is to create the good and effective content that can help people to improve themselves, to raise their level of acknowledgement on some information.
That's it, I'm done. Not yet dug out. Bloody hell.
In most countries, the word good means pretty much the same. We are the children of so-called Christian Western paradigm. Even if you're Muslim or Asian, much of this stuff that Western world brought to the Mother Earth is also in your blood. I know this is kind of boring to hear all this stuff. You better prefer me to roll over the Creaky Blinder of Simon Dan.
Yeah? Blow me.
Really?
So we are all losers, and I'm not trying to say that Creepy or Nick Nimnin or Philipp Druzhinin or Martin Manson or Barnabas Nagy or Simon Dan are the worst losers in the world. We are all pretty much the same. We eat pretty much the same food. We breathe pretty much the same air. We drink pretty much the same water. And we really want to know what's going on, because life is still passing by. And what I observe is, in recent years, after the digital revolution of the 90s, people forgot the real meaning of life. Okay? And this is what really pisses me off. Because rather than finding out the truth and the meaning of life, people stop doing that. What they started to do is thinking about who you can blame for all this losing in our lives, because life's passing by and really nothing is improving. Just for example, we have the same technology that we had in the 19th century. We have it still right now. We use the same turbines that was invented in 18th century. We use it in different pumps, jet engines and stuff like this. We use pretty much the same technology in the internal combustion engine, which we used in the steam engine, and so on and so forth. Yes, of course we have some breakthroughs, but really the efficiency is so low that according to the amount of money that was spent on it, we don't really get the results to the community, the positive results that we can mention as a great thing. So literally what I'm trying to say is that all the money that was spent on science, warfare, weaponry, and other technologies like space and stuff doesn't get any effect to the community, except maybe for some payrolls that people get. But if we take a look at what's going on right now, we see the countries are dissolving, and we see the people are changing. The masses that arrive to Europe, America, Russia, and other countries, they don't want all this stuff. They don't need it. All they need is food and some income for their children, for their families. And they replace the generations that were inhabiting the areas since the 19th century, or even before that. Who cares, really? We lost the roots of what we had before. Cannot confirm that we have some changes, have some improvements. Look what's going on in Pacific, where tons of litter is just floating in the ocean. Look what's happening in Southeastern Asia. We have pretty much the same in Russia, where you have just enormous amounts of lands that are covered with the rubbish and litter. And that's the real rubbish. Let's take a look on those losers that are raising their heads to blame other people for doing their research. The research that was trying to shift things towards better conditions.
Are you looking closely at me, Philip?
Morning guys, Taddled Vapor here. This isn't a review, this isn't really anything. This is, I don't know if you want to call it a vlog, but there we go, that's what it is, I suppose. I am having a bit of a vaping catastrophe. I've run out of my beloved RY8 juice.
He looks like a drug abuse person, actually, to me.
What?
Or maybe some, gang member.
No.
What I ask you guys is, why are you protecting and trying to be advocates of those official elite powers that are controlling the world right now? Why are you doing it? Because you ain't getting nothing from it, exactly. You're just keeping yourself, locking yourself in this indoctrination, in these not real beliefs, rather than doing your own research. You're trying to spread hatred, advocating those who are not doing a simple thing for you. You think you have the right of private property. No, you don't, because you're paying taxes for the houses that you own, the cars that you have, and stuff like this. The money that you have is and decreasing its price each and every day, because the inflation, it's like 1 to 10% each year of the market value of each currency. So like if you say like 50 years, you probably lose like at least 20% or maybe even more of the value of the savings that you have. So if you're like trying to save some money for your retirement, you probably will fail. And I don't know what is so good in that. Yes, there's no better system right now that is working, but I'm trying to change the official relationships between us and the government, because we have succeeded in this case. In Russia, some of the YouTube bloggers even put down the reputation of the banks. Some of the YouTube bloggers can, totally destroy some political leaders. Don't let them be elected and stuff like this. And this is really good, because YouTube is providing us the important option that we didn't have like 20 years before. The option to be a journalist, to be a researcher. Yes, we don't know all these official rules of journalism, and maybe we don't have the scientific knowledge of how to be correct in journalism, but we have cameras, we can talk, we can express our opinions, we can exchange them via comments and video replies like Creaky Blinder did. And I don't really care about what he said, because it's not like touching me or making me butthurt, but still I have to do this just to show all his subscribers and know who are influenced by official paradigm that this is not correct, guys. This is not correct. This is not how it's supposed to be. Everybody should be expressing his opinion and not being bullied for that. Don't you think so? Yes, you can have a debate like Team Skeptic has with some flat earthers, and it seems to be very good to have a debate, but once the debate gets started, all this crap is put down and people start cussing, swearing, trying to disgrace each other, even if any of them didn't do any research at all. But they are like protecting the officials. For what? For billions and billions of dollars that were spent not by you? Why are you protecting them? I don't really know. This is not a great thing, guys. You have to talk for yourself. Speak for yourself first. We're in the process of losing this world, guys. We used to own it. We used to own it for a couple of centuries at least, is what I can confirm. But right now, we're losing it for the sake of those who want to make money immediately, get a profit on somebody's losing. Because if somebody's profiting, somebody's losing. If somebody's winning, somebody's losing.
Lived in the same state for thousands of years. They did not know about disease until the white man came.
Of course we can, make a peace treaty with those losers and winners. And have like some type of compromise, which in some countries is actually called a good life. You have a pretty good life in your country, right? Like Switzerland, I don't know, Luxembourg, Monaco, and many more. But still, there are a lot of people probably suffering in those countries which we don't even know about. Guys, what about the animals? Why are they supposed to die just because somebody don't care about the nature, the ecology? Why do people supposed to suffer because of these space programs? All this fuel, rocket fuel, missile fuel that is falling down with the parts of the missiles that fall down during the takeoff. They fall down on the ground, and those people just, getting poisoned. The land's getting poisoned. Their animals getting poisoned. Their food getting poisoned. Their plants getting poisoned. Why are they supposed to suffer? If you didn't know, most of the space rocket launches are proceeded from Soviet Union, ex-Soviet Union territory, which is now Kazakhstan, close to Russia, from Baikonur. Americans, Europeans, and Russians are starting their expeditions, so-called space expeditions, from this Baikonur. And the people that live in Kazakhstan are suffering from all this stuff. Even the Freedom radio channel made a video about that. On the other hand, YouTube is a trap, because all the persistent authors, the creators that start working with YouTube, are addicted to statistics and the view count. All they care is how many likes, subscribers, and views they get. So was I. But right now I'm free of this, because this is not my real purpose, to get some views. I'm not here for the views. What's definitely good is that YouTube raised the level of research spirit that was lost. Since the day one that we were reading all those books and articles about how this and that was researched, how this and that was uncovered and explored. So we didn't have a chance to go outside and find something. Right now, with all this flat earth movement, mud flood, Tartaria, and all this stuff that they got open for us, we have the raise of this new conscience that helps us to become more, more free, because it's freedom of research, it's a freedom of expression of opinion. That's why I don't really want the people that advocate the official paradigm to make us lose that, to make us be ridiculous in the eyes of the others. Although there still can be those who hesitate on our results, who are still so indoctrinated with what they were told in school and the colleges and stuff. With those who actually haven't done anything by themselves except maybe their jobs. I'm not saying my job is perfect. I hate it more and more each and every day. But I used to like it because it's connected to YouTube. And YouTube was quite a trend for me, quite a new step in this chain of life that we have. We can't even find ourselves some decent space where we can actually be happy right now, because there's no guarantee that in like a couple of years, nobody's gonna come and kick you out of there. So you just can't go to the forest and, you know, build yourself a house, you know, make yourself some living, right? It's so prohibited right now. Some of this stuff is still available in Russia because we're just a very large country, but literally in the world we have a huge concurrence between the human species. So, freaky, creepy, Creaky Blinder told each and every one of us that we don't know who he is, although he's just one of us, just a regular person. So it's obviously true that we know who he is. He's just a man, probably a family man, and he's probably British because he's got accents. And that's pretty much that we knew before it all got started by him. And I decided to make this video to kind of threat him a little bit, to show him that, you know, he's not like very correct and polite while ridiculing others. But still, what I'm talking about, what is this rambling all about? All this rambling is about that everything is so transparent in nowadays, and when you try to start something like this, something like a channel that you want to make money off, you want to make your career, right, Creaky?
In fairness to you, Philip, you are extremely observant. I do like to always advertise my subscribe, and my Patreon, because I want my channel to grow. I want it to be successful. I want to be able to entertain the people that go to the trouble of watching my videos. So I kind of thought this video was going to be insulting, but so far, with the exception of a few character slurs, all you've done is praise me on my level of professionalism, so this may actually turn into a thank you video.
It's so transparent, as I've said before, and you can easily find out who the person is. So one of the functions that I do in my job is I monitor the search results on a certain keywords concerning my employer. And as a good worker, I have a good results. In past like 2 years that I work, maybe 2.5 years that I work for this company, I had a pretty good, you know, I've managed to have a pretty good technology to revealing those haters that hating our brands. We have a bunch of brands. That's why I have to manage a bunch of content, and I have to manage a bunch of search results and SERM, which is search engine reputation management. And I found out all those haters pretty easy. I have this technology to find the person. And you know, I've been a head of economics crimes department, and we were solving corruption cases and some scams and all this stuff. So, you know, I have a pretty good background in finding people and finding out who they are. So, concerning Creaky Blinder, it was pretty easy to find him. And I take my words back. He's not a professional. He's just, you know, an amateur. Probably watched a couple of lessons by some YouTubers and maybe even went to some webinars, I don't know, where he got all this stuff. He got his special room for all this stuff. So it's like, you know, I might show you my studio. It doesn't look the same. It's like a lot bigger because we have live broadcasts and stuff like this. So and so we have like three camera broadcasts, and we have a live TV entries in the news and stuff like this. So we have to have a good equipment for this. So Creaky has good enough equipment for doing all these videos, and we see him improving and doing these good editions and making those cuts and stuff like this. You know, I don't know how to call this professional in English, but of course I know how do you call it in Russian. So what I'm trying to say is that Creaky doing a pretty good job in this stuff, but he managed to make this mistake and not be enough polite and blaming that we don't know who he is. I don't know who he is. I know who it is. It's like it took me like half an hour to find him out. It took me like 15 minutes to find who is really Simon Dan, and it's probably gonna take me a couple of days to find out who are the others. The list is, you can find a list of those other so-called debunkers on their channels in the related and in the related channels on the right on the main channel page. So this message to all of you guys that are making money on debunking, and now I'm straight and strict and I'm talking like a man to you: quit doing this stuff. There's no such thing that cannot be, found out. We can find each and every of you, and whatever the nicknames you have, whatever the style and content you have, we are going to find you and expose you who you are. Because why are you hiding your real names? And some of you hiding your faces. It's because of you. It's because of you. Because you are just the same losers as you pretend to call us.
Le who? The her.
You pretend to be some great authorities, but you actually are not. For example, Creaky doesn't have any higher education, and Simon Dan isn't even a scientist. He's just a tutor, right? So, Creaky, what I don't like about you is your outlook, right? Your outfit. You pretend to be younger than you are, but you're almost 50, like 48, 47 years old. You have an older wife than you are, and you probably pissed off by your age because you're trying to be younger, trying to pretend, you're trying to look like your first son. You have a pretty much the same style and outfit that he does. You're trying to pretend gangster sometimes, but sometimes you look like an ordinary man, which you don't like to be like. In your last video you said you don't want to be an ordinary middle-aged man.
I mean, come on, grow up.
You are an ordinary middle-aged man, and you have pictures where you look like an ordinary middle-aged man without all those rims and stuff like this. All your tattoos are really showing your true face, because you don't like who you are. You don't like getting old. And getting old is an ordinary, natural thing, which each and every one of us passes through. As I've said before, life changes really fast. Time flies. And certainly without the meaning of life, without this paradigm that we lost, this pre-flood paradigm that we lost, we are totally lost in this world. Because we are right now in a parasitic elites paradigm, and you are trying to be conformist to them, You're trying to advocate them. You're trying to be funny, be a clown of this regime. And this is not a conspiracy theory. It's your life. You might disagree that you're a loser, but you are. You're just as a loser as any one of us. You try to be a tattooed vapor. Then you try to, before that, you try to be a car advertisement sticker designer or whatever. You had this little company, but all these projects failed. You know, I had a bunch of projects that failed in my life. That's why this current job is my like 6th or 7th job that I had, and I even tried to make my own private companies also, and I sucked in this because this regime is not gonna give us any chance of doing that. Only like 5 to 10% of entrepreneurs actually succeed, and from those 10%, only like 10% actually keep this money till the day that they die, and you know, give all these funds to their children. And most of those who succeed don't even have a children, because it's impossible to have a family like you have with 3 kids, and like I have with 2 kids, and like Simon Dan has with 3 kids, and to succeed throughout your whole life, because you have a bunch of problems with it. This is all programmed by the regime. This paradigm of losing is made for us to, you know, die younger and look more stupid. The worst thing the old man can do to look older, the best thing he can do to look older is to make himself look younger. That's one famous person said. So making yourself look younger, you trying to be more ridiculous, because people know you are old. It's like Trump and his haircut.
Why would I want to take out my nose ring and stop wearing my hat and just be like any other middle-aged man? No. It may work for you, Philip, because looking at you, you're not much younger than me.
This is ridiculous, actually, and this is what turns people away from you, and probably this is what is going to make you fail in your YouTube job. But I would be glad to see you as a good YouTuber, maybe doing some channels on design, because you have some skills, of course, and I'm not saying you are like a total failure or fallacy of your parents. Of course you like to joke around. Of course you have like not a perfect look, just like I do.
Old?
You see, my battery got low, so I don't have any charge anymore, and forgot my backup battery in the car. So I suck also. I'm not perfect, and I'm not saying I'm perfect, but you know, making money on ridiculing people is the worst thing you can do on YouTube, because it leads you to nowhere. You are not an employer of NASA, you are not an employer of some space agency, or you're not an astronomy tutor like Simon Dan. You're just an ordinary man. So I wonder why you like trying to advocate all this stuff without even knowing it by yourself, without knowing and doing any of your research. And the guys like Team Skeptic, you seem to be a pretty good, smart people, you know? But why are you calling such names like team? Like making you larger or something? Making you more? You know, maximizing your influence, like calling yourself a team. It's like, I mean, I'll be calling myself Team Philip. What the fuck? I'm Philip. I'm just a Philip, man. I'm trying to stay true, man. And people like Martin Barnabas, Conspiracy Ross, John Levy, Richard Lopez, Karen B, Journalism, and all this stuff, they just showing their faces. Why you don't show your faces? If you want to debate, you show your fucking face, man. That's the best thing you can do. You can you know, call me on Facebook each and every time, and we can have a schedule of a chat, live chat, and we can talk about mud floods, YouTube promotions, anything that's actually in your interests, and we can do it smooth and nice, and be polite to each other. Why not? But I'm worrying about all those rhinos, elephants, tigers, lions, bears, leopards, birds, fish, dolphins, whales, and all these animals that we destroy every day. The officials that you advocate doing it, they do nothing to save those animals. They do nothing to save the nature. All they do is spend money on some fake projects. And Russian detective committee actually released the information to the press that they're right now doing the investigation of scamming in Roscosmos, which is Russian space agency. I think you had a bunch of investigations in United States about Pentagon and just wasting $5 trillion, just losing them from the accounts. So it would be great if you make a point on this. A squirrel came to me. I like those animals. I think they really like me. I don't have any food though. So this is what is concerning my thinking right now. I'm concerned of all this stuff that is going on right now, right? And I don't really hate you guys. I just want you to change your mind before it gets too far, before you go to the point of no return. Yeah, you probably don't want to talk about some bullshit like how to cook a pancake, or how to record the song, or whatever. You probably don't want to do it. So I wonder why you picked this type of topics, like advocating the officials without doing any research. It's not very good. It's not very polite. It's not very efficient, because you ain't stopping anyone. You're just raising the degree of hatred. And my message to all of you guys that support them and paying them for that: stop doing this. This is not the freedom of speech. This is not the hunt for witches or some idiots that they putting on the thumbnails, like calling each and everybody an idiot or a moron. Yes, I was wrong to maybe claim somebody in some videos, but that was my point of view at that time. But I'm not doing any thumbnails with the words like idiots, or like Atheists Dominion made a video on mudflood and just spend a minute or even more on calling us names. So please guys, stop this. Do your own research. Be creators before YouTube dies. Stay true. Raise your channels. Grow your audience. Be more positive, because sooner or later all your channel is going to be destroyed by some people like me. Somebody can come and just erase your channels. As I said before, I'm deleting a bunch of channels of haters of my brands, and I deleted like 300 videos in 2018 with like 15 channels, around 50 channels of haters. Also completely deleted from YouTube. Those anonymous people that are showing your faces, their faces and stuff. You cannot hide right now. This is a digital, transparent world, guys, and you can easily find each and every one. And if you have a private information that you don't want people to look at, or you are ashamed of yourself, well, just don't start the war. Do something positive, and that will be good enough for you to stay in the shadow and not show your face. But if you try to promote the hatred and making this war your profit, like the elites do, they actually, profiting on war while people are just dying, then you're gonna be busted with the people like me. So think about it. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you later.